Welcome to Wall Street Savant. This channel will provide technical analysis and overall market sentiment. In this episode, I'm going to go over the major indices and price levels we should be keeping an eye on for the week moving forward. So let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at the SPY, the proxy for the S&P 500. On Friday, we really got denied pretty clearly at the 20 and the 8 EMAs. Came all the way down to lows of, let's see what the low of this candle is, 716.58. But really all last week, I mean, Monday you gapped down, you came down to 730. Tuesday you came back to 730. Wednesday, same deal. Then Friday you finally flush, but buyers do come up and bring it back to the 730 level. So this is promising for the bulls. I mean, really, the next thing for us to look at is what's the next level that we get to here. To the bullish side, I would say watch for 740 to break, and really this would let us reclaim the 20 and the 8 EMAs. We'd probably get some consolidation there. And the real test will be around 750, which is clearly a level that we touched here and at these points here. So 750, there's gonna be a resistance there. So now let's take a look at what the possible bearish scenario could be here. If price doesn't hold up early in the week, and keep in mind, markets are closed on Friday in observance of the 4th of July holiday. So what we really want to see is if 730 doesn't hold and price starts to break down Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, your downside target could be 712. Obviously, there's consolidation, but for simplicity, let's run the scenario. We run into the end of the week getting towards 712. Could it possibly be a bounce back to 730 and then continue to drop? This is a possibility here. We haven't touched the 200 EMA back since April 7th. So as price continues, I mean, your EMA is going to continue to move here. It wouldn't be out of this world for us to see a bearish scenario of price getting to 696. When we zoom out, we can see that 696 would simply just be the previous resistance and all-time high range. I mean, when you look at it, it's from last October really all the way, even say here, I mean, put it down to the Iran lows. Price really just consolidated in between 628 and call it 700. Price consolidated in this range for some time, and then the market expanded. The real question is, are we going to see something similar to this here where price is going to consolidate between 730 and 759? Or do we break down and get back to the previous all-time high levels? Let's also take a look at the all-time high at 760. So you made an all-time high here. Mind you, you made a lower high at this point here, which was 756.68. Then you proceeded to make another lower high here as well. So we're slowly starting to see the market stair step its way down, causing the downtrend. If next week, I would say your major level is clearly 730. To the downside, do we break down to 712 and try to reclaim 730, move on, and have your bullish situation like this for another all-time high retest? That's one scenario. Your second scenario is if you do break down, you come here to 712, you come back to 730, you continue down and break the low and ultimately get back here. I would be looking to get long in this area where the 200 EMA would be looking to save us. Let's take a look at a more zoomed out picture here, let's go to the weekly chart. Mainly, this entire move, I mean, you even see it here. Let's zoom in. Once we broke above the weekly 8 EMA here, I mean, at this point, you broke above it. The price has just been riding it, coming back down, testing it, using it as support, bouncing, and really we closed around this area here. Can we get back above the weekly 8 EMA, which is at 733? That's the question for the bulls that they need to answer if this rally continues to go higher. Let's take a look at the QQQ. On Friday's close, we closed right under the 8 and the 20 EMAs. So this is something to consider, that bulls are starting to lose control here. But I also want to take a look at what's transpired in the last month. So we made our all-time high here at 748.65. It's hard to see, but you made a slightly lower high at this range where all of these bars started to run into resistance here, and this is at the 744.76 level. Then when you continue to take a look, last week we made another lower high. From the first original high, you made your low. Then we made a lower high. Now the question is, did we make a lower low? The low of this range is not lower than here. So in order for us to truly have a downtrend on the QQQ and see price action that's slowly representing this type of action, you're going to want to see, does price take out the lowest low in this section, which is here? Another thing to note, and let me erase everything. Let's take a look at our two scenarios. Let's start with the bullish scenario. So if price is able to reclaim 713, because we did close on Friday at 706, if we can reclaim 713 and start marching back towards 725, that is going to be an area where bulls will get back in control if 725 is recaptured, and we would have an opportunity to retest all-time highs once again, as we did here and got rejected, if price can make it. Obviously, nothing goes in the straight line. You could get a multitude of different pathways there. You could come up to 725, come back down to 713, and then start making your way to 736. And ultimately, if that was the path, 736 would have gap filled here. For the bearish scenario, if price is not able to hold 699 and you come down, you could test this low here, which is at, let's see, 685. Say price comes down to 685, you come back up and retest 700 psychological level, you could see a flush back down towards this area here where you did consolidate for a bit. Remember, structure is very thin here. You don't have that much information in this section here for a lot of buyers and sellers fighting. There wasn't chop there. So price can, I say this to say, price can cut through like a knife, and the 200 will also continue to stair step its way up. So this is like the same situation as SPY, right? You're coming down towards the previous all-time high area, and it also coincides with where the 200 EMA is. The previous all-time high area for QQQ is 635, so keep that in mind. Lastly on the QQQ, let's take a look at the weekly time frame, a bit zoomed out here from the daily that we just looked at. So this entire rally has really been riding on staying above the weekly 8 EMA. Right when we broke it here, for multiple weeks, you've just been riding it. We tested it here. You ended up bouncing price, and now we just came right back down to it again. If the bulls can hold the weekly 8 EMA, which currently sits at 707.82, the bull run is still intact. I mean, really, you're just consolidating here. And Will we get into expansion and make a new all-time high, or is this going back down and testing previous all-time high, the range where we were denied before? So bulls, keep in mind, if you can't hold on and hold the line at 707.82, we will be in for some downside. Let's take a look at the SMH, the Van X Semiconductor ETF. Really, if this bull run continues to have legs, there's no way that semiconductors don't continue to rise higher. Let's take a look on Friday. We closed right at 611.61, and really 611.73 has been a huge level for us. Look at all these touch points within this major price level. We do have a very slight gap that's hard to see in this area. This would be gap fill if we can get to the top of that box, but you made your high at 671.83. You made a lower high here. Now the question is, do we come back up and make another lower high and break down? Because really, we're sitting at 611. The 20 EMA is at 614.22, and the 8 EMA is at 626. So for the bulls to be able to get into control, we need to get back above both the 8 and the 20 EMAs and retest 650. This would be a retest of the previous rejection point, and if we can mount that, close the gap that is present right here, and go back to all-time highs, retest 671, possibly make your way towards the 700 level and new all-time highs. That's the bullish scenario where bulls really need to get back over both of those EMAs, break 650, and continue higher. Let's take a look at what the bearish scenario would look like. The bearish scenario really starts at 611 not being able to be claimed. We fall under the 20 and the 8, and your next level to look down for is 580. By that time, the 50 EMA will continue to move higher, and 580 would be a level I would look at for this upcoming week for bears to bring it down to, and we could really just chop between 580 and 611 for the next few days, especially it being a short week. Keep your eye on the SMH. Really, if the market continues to go higher, semiconductors are going to have to continue to pull the weight and bring us. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Man, this chart's just been getting uglier as the year's been going on. I mean, we topped out last October at 127K, and ever since then, you've just really been making more and more bear flags and breaking down. Let's see, you made another one, and we literally broke down again. Are we in another bear flag that is going to be happening? My goodness. I mean, Bitcoin bulls cannot catch a break this year. The major level we're going to want to see is, does 54,000, and where do we get 54,000? Let's zoom out a bit. The previous range where we consolidated for a bit here in the past. I mean, back in February 2024 all the way to October 2024, you consolidated in this range. So nothing really to ring the alarm here. I mean, if, say, price gets back to that range and eventually breaks upwards, I mean, sentiment on Bitcoin can't be any worse at this point. I believe that the support at 54,000 is going to ultimately hold, and going in towards the end of the year, we're going to be working our way back towards 100K. At this point, I would say keep your buys small and stay consistent. Dollar cost averaging is going to be your best interest in this current market. The levels you want to look out for this upcoming week, and the levels you really want to make sure that they hold, are 700 on the QQQs, 730 on the SPY, 600 on the SMH, and 60,000 on Bitcoin. If these levels don't hold, we are in for some pain. That wraps up the first episode of the Wall Street Savant market overview. If you did like and enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and look out for our ongoing analysis as we plan to drop market analysis Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and really just give you guys overall market coverage. We'll see you in the next one.